Hey y'all, this is Jamie. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am going to be doing a full face of makeup using products that I bought at Sally Beauty. But before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Also make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like this kind of video, this full face using all products from one store. So without further ado, let's get into this. The other day I decided to go to Sally Beauty and buy a full face of makeup. I got 8 products total, including a sponge. So we're gonna go ahead and try this stuff out, see how it works. As far as pricing for Sally Beauty, I think it's technically considered like a drugstore, but I think their prices are more on the high-end side of drugstore. So the first product that we will go into is actually a foundation. I think the brands that they sell at Sally Beauty are Femme, Couture, Palladio, I don't know how you pronounce it. Palladio. I'm good at spelling, not always great at pronunciation. They also sell Col-lab, Ardell. I ended up getting this wet and dry foundation. It's called Palladio, of course I got products from the brand that I can't pronounce. Palladio, I think it's Palladio. Palladio Wet and Dry Foundation. It's botanical and vitamin infused. So you can use wet for maximum coverage with a wet sponge, or you can use dry for sheer coverage with a dry sponge. So I got this in the shade Ivory Myrrh. It looks like this. It's a bit of a compact. So if you open the top, that's where you have your product. And then if you open the second part, that is where you have your sponge. So because this is a wet and dry foundation, I kind of want to test out both of those. So I will be using this dry sponge on this half of my face, I guess your left. And then I will be using a wet sponge on this side of the face. Wait, what did I say? Okay, this side is dry. Okay, this is an okay shade. It's funny, this is a little bit darker and it's called Ivory. That to me seems almost ridiculous. Okay, so that is it applied to this side. I actually like it. It's a nice foundation, and I'm a fan of powder foundations though. I think they're easy to apply. Okay, so and that was sheer coverage over on this side with the dry sponge. I'm gonna take a wet sponge. This I actually got from Sally Beauty as well. This is from the brand Col-lab. This is the Multitasker Makeup Perfecting Sponge. 10 angles expertly cut. It's supposed to blend, buff, and contour. Maybe? Sure. And, oh my gosh, it's like a rock. Okay, that's not working for me, so I'm gonna grab it with the little angled side. Oh, I look like I just put chocolate on my face. I'm not gonna do that. I don't like that sponge. I would not recommend. We're just gonna go in with the sponge, with the dry sponge on this side as well. Okay, so yeah, I actually like that a lot. I mean, you can tell it's a little dark. I think that'll especially be good come summertime. I like that though. I like the finish, and it feels nice too. It actually makes my face feel really soft. I definitely liked it better with a dry sponge. So the next product that I got is a concealer. So I think I've said before, I actually prefer either stick concealers or the little pot concealers. So I decided to get the Femme Couture Get Covered Maximum Coverage Concealer. This is in the shade Light. Thought it might be a little too light, but the next one up, the next shade up, seemed too dark. It's a little light. I really like the concealer. It's way too light, but I like how it feels and it blends out very well. I don't want to blend out too much of the coverage. So what I think I'm gonna do is, we're gonna leave that like that, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of the foundation and I'm gonna set that concealer with the foundation. Put it up a little bit. Because I don't use concealer to highlight. So I actually prefer, if it's the same shade as my foundation and the rest of my face. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Alright, so we're going to pause on the face real quick and I'm going to go up to the eyes. So I did get, I think 3 of the products that I got are for the eyes. So what I got for the brows is from the brand Femme Couture. I think I got the most from Femme Couture and from Col-lab. But this is the brow tinted gel and it's supposed to be a universal tint. It looks like that. It looks a little dark. So I'm gonna lightly, I guess. Okay, it's a little dark, but it's not too dark that I can't work with it. I really like that. I like that gel. So now going into the eyeshadow, I got something that is very different from what I typically get with eyeshadows. So I got a very cool toned palette. I felt like this was something that I don't already have. This is the Palladio Silk FX All-in-One Herbal Eyeshadow. This is in the shade Femme Fatale. So this is one of those that basically puts a little suggestion on how to use each shade. I'm actually gonna do that and we're gonna see what the look looks like. It is suggesting that I use this shade right here for the all over base, so that is what I'm going to do. This is a slightly shimmery shade. Then it is saying to use this shade right here in the crease. So far so good. I actually like it. It does take some building up, but I don't mind that with eyeshadows. I really don't, especially darker shades like this. So that is how far we're gonna go for now with that shade. So then it is saying to use this pretty purple shade right here all over the lid. I like the color. I don't know that I like the pigment though. Let's try and build it up. I really like that, and it's actually not a very shimmery shade even in the pan. It's almost like a satin. So it is suggesting to use this black glittery shade, really pretty, as a liner. So that is what I am going to do. I'm gonna grab my liner brush. So I really like that. I think that you could make it stand out even more if you were to wet your brush. The last thing that it says to do is to use this shade up here as the highlight. I actually really like this. I really like this eye look. I didn't think I was going to, but one of the reasons why I bought this, knowing that I don't typically like those shades, is because I wanted to try out, kind of go out of my comfort zone a little bit more. Alright, so moving on to mascara. I got the Balm Explosive Volume Mascara. This is supposed to boost lash volume. This is what the wand looks like. It's slightly curved, which some of my favorite mascaras have the curved wands. So far so good. It is very voluminous. I seem to have very fluttery lashes. I like it a lot. So the next product that we're going to move on to, I think I'm going to go back to the face. So I did get this Palette Pro Multidimensional Face Shaping Palette from Col-lab as well. So it has a highlighter, a brightener, a blush, a deep contour, a light contour, and a bronzer. For my bronzer, I think I'm gonna go into this one right here. It is very powdery in the palette. You can see that. I don't know if you can tell. I like that color. Blends pretty well. I would say that maybe I would mix it. And see, this is kind of the problem right here. So a lot of it gets mixed in with the other shades. So I would probably mix these two shades next time a little bit. This right here is the highlighting shade, but it might be a tad bit too light for me. So I think I'm gonna mix these two shades. That's really pretty. I like that highlighter too. But definitely I like mixing those two shades. The highlighter shade and then what it calls the bronzing shade. Okay, so the last thing that I got to try out is a lip product. It is from Femme Couture. It is the Rosé All Day lipstick. I got the shade Dolce. It looks like this. The only thing that I hate though is that they put a sticker right here, so now it's all gummy and sticky. It's one of those slanted lipsticks, and I got it in kind of what I thought to be a cool tone shade to go with this eye look, so hopefully this is an okay shade. Oh, I didn't realize it was shimmery. It looks straight out of the 90s. Oh my goodness. I like don't want to show my... Can I just do the rest? I'll just do the rest of my video like this. It can be like that. What's his name on Home Improvement? Alright, so this is the final product. I went ahead and put on a little bit of the Ulta Avengers lip gloss. This is the shade Electrifying. To review all the products that we used today. So first up was the Palladio... What was this called? So first up was the Palladio Wet and Dry Foundation. So this is a powder foundation that you can use wet or dry. I didn't like it wet. Maybe it was just the sponge that I was using. This also was a new product from Col-lab. Yeah, this was a sponge from Col-lab Beauty. I did not like this. It was very hard. To me, it has too many sides. I like having a rounded side to put my foundation on with. So, was not a big fan of that. I would not recommend that. Instead, I would get the Real Techniques sponges. Those are really nice, and they're actually less expensive. I did like this foundation, and I still like how it's looking on my face. It's not cakey at all. It's not creasing anywhere. I really like it. It gives a bit of coverage. It gives a bit of a tint without really looking like you're wearing makeup. Again, I'm wearing the shade Ivory Myrrh. I believe that this was the second lightest shade, and it was still kind of dark on me, and I've never worn a shade called Ivory before. For the concealer, I actually really like the concealer. I just love it so much. I really like the concealer. It was not the right shade. It was a little too light for me. I was able to set it with that foundation, but I actually really like this formula. It's very creamy. I love really creamy concealers, and I think that you could get like really full coverage with this. So I really liked that. For the brows, this was the Perfect Arch Tinted Brow Gel. It is in a universal shade. I liked it. I don't know that I love my eyebrows right now, but it's probably just user error. My eyebrows look very like that 1920s, 1930s, very like frowny face brows. But I actually quite liked this. I like the spoolie on it. It's really nice. It kind of comes to a bit of a point. For the eyeshadow, I don't know that I would recommend this just because this wasn't out of this world, and it was a little pricey. It was $11.99 for only 5 shades. So I think that was the price point was a bit much to get this, and you don't get a whole lot of product It's a little bit harder to get your brushes into these. It's a nice palette, and I definitely think that I will use it a little bit more since I have it. But I do think that there are less expensive, better quality options out there. The Wet n Wild ones that are like this, those are only like maybe $5.99 I think, and you get 7 or 8 shades maybe. I liked this. I like the eye look that I created with this, but I don't know that I'm saying like go out and get this. Next up was the mascara. I really like this. As of right now, we'll see if it flakes or anything like that. This is still $12.99. So yeah, it's cheaper than the high-end mascaras, but it's quite a bit more expensive than a lot of the mascaras that I wear. The CoverGirl Active Mascara is one of my favorites right now. Pretty much all of the Essence mascaras are only like $4.99, and I think that their volume ones give so much volume. I think the Lash Paradise mascara from L'Oreal is less than $12.99. So I do think that there are options that do just the same that are less expensive than this. So then for the face palette from Col-lab, upside down, I actually really like, and this is the one that I feel like is worth the price because you get 6 different products in one. So you get basically like a setting powder, you get a blush, you get 2 contour / bronzing shades, and then to me these are 2 highlighters. You get 2 highlighter shades. I think that's quite a bit for, it was $14.99. To me that's worth it. So they did have a deeper shaded palette. So this I think is for more of the light medium skin tones, and then they had more of the tan dark skin tones. They had a palette for that as well. I really liked it. I actually would recommend this one. I think this was one of my favorite products for today, this as well as the foundation. Lastly, I don't even know if I need to tell you my thoughts on this. Lastly was the lipstick. Of course, at Sally Beauty, there aren't any testers, so I did not realize that this was like a frosty shade, so I really didn't like it, so I would not recommend this. So that is it. Let me know what you guys think if you've tried anything from Sally Beauty, from any of these brands, Palladio, Col-lab, Femme, Couture. I would love to hear what y'all think. Remember to subscribe to my channel before you leave and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye y'all.